I am Vinay Chauhan from Infigrow Labs. Today is 1st February 2022, a very exciting, a very anticipated day. The Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman had presented the Union Budget for the year 2022-23, and I am here to bring to you the key highlights of the budget so that you understand what will affect you and how it will affect you and what you need to do. Let's take a look at the key highlights of the budget with respect to direct taxation, that is income tax. To start with, as expected, cryptocurrencies and tokens, NFTs, would be chargeable to income tax. Taxation of virtual digital assets. That means any income from the transfer of virtual digital assets, that is cryptocurrencies and NFTs, shall be taxed at a rate of 30%. Now this was something which was expected. What was not expected was that any expenditure incurred with respect to such transactions shall not be allowed as a deduction. Also, loss on the transfer of such assets will not be allowed to be set off with any other income. Moreover, to capture these transactions, TDS at the rate of 1% shall be applicable, but there is a threshold limit of 50,000 for specified persons and 10,000 for non-specified persons. So as the threshold limit is very low, 50,000 and 10,000, most of the transactions will get covered under here. And that's not all. Even gifting of virtual digital assets shall be taxed in the hands of the recipient. Now, as this law is very new, it will evolve and get upgraded with time. We'll have to see what are the further amendments to this. Next, good news for startups. 2 incentive schemes have been extended. The first one is ATIAC, which allowed 100% reduction of profits for startups which are incorporated before 31st March 2022. Yes, and this 100% of profits are allowed as deduction for 3 consecutive years in a span of 10 years. Now this incentive has been extended to startups which get incorporated before 31st March 2023. Next incentive scheme under section 115 BAB, which gave a concessional tax rate at 15% for startups. Now this scheme was eligible, the startups who were eligible under this scheme should have commenced their manufacturing operations before 31st March 2023. Now startups which commence their manufacturing operations before 31st March 2024 shall also be eligible for availing this concessional rate of 15% under 115 BAB. Next is a tax relief to cooperative societies. The alternate minimum tax rate of cooperatives was very high, 18.5%, whereas for the peers, companies, the MAT was 15%. Now to level the playing field, the cooperatives AMT has been brought down from 18.5% to 15%. And that's not all. The surcharge applicable to cooperatives having an income, total income exceeding 1 crore but not exceeding 10 crore was previously 12%. Now this has been reduced to 7%. So great significant tax relief to cooperatives and under tax relief to AOPs this time. AOPs were subject to a greater surcharge of up to 37%. Yes, significantly high than the surcharge applicable to companies. Now this surcharge is now being capped at 15%. From 37% is capped at 15%. Now this is a relief more than 50%. Next announcement comes as a clarification. Health and education cess and surcharge. So there were a couple of case laws where courts had allowed entities to claim health and education cess and surcharge as a business expenditure while calculating their total income. Now we are aware that income tax cannot be claimed as an expenditure for calculating the total income for calculation of income tax. Now the Finance Ministry wants to clarify that health and education cess and surcharge are to be seen as income tax and hence they cannot be allowed as expenditure while calculating the business income. Next, a good news for state government employees. Employers' contribution to National Pension Scheme was allowed as deduction only up to 10% previously. But moving forward, employees' contribution to NPS for state government employees, now they can claim deduction up to 14%, which is at par with the deduction limit of central government employees. Next, an announcement with the goal of reducing the piling of litigations. So the ministry clarifies where there is a question of law in relation to an assessee which is identical to a question of law pending in appeals in a jurisdictional high court or pending in appeals at the Supreme Court, then the department should not file further appeals, should defer filing of further appeals until this question of law is decided by the court. Yes, now this would prevent piling up of litigations where a similar litigation is already being taken care in a particular high court or at a Supreme Court. Next, a new return, they're calling it the updated return, is being brought in through subsection 8A to section 139. Now what is this? This will permit taxpayers to update their return within 2 years from the end of the assessment year where they have missed out declaring a income. Let me get it clear for you. If you have missed out declaring a particular income in your return, you can update your return within 2 years from the end of the assessment year. Yes. Please be clear that this updated return should only be used if it increases your tax liability. It cannot be used where this updated return would result in decreasing your tax liability or increasing your losses or increasing your refund eligibility. Now this is a welcome move. Next, the last highlight, undisclosed incomes when detected during search operations shall not be allowed to be set off against brought forward losses. Now, we are aware that undisclosed incomes detected during search and seizure operations have severe consequences. Yes, so one, here brought forward losses now will not be allowed to set off with such incomes. Moreover, the tax on such incomes is significantly higher than the usual rate. So the previous highlight which we saw, updated returns, now assessees, please better use this updated return mechanism to declare incomes which you had missed out declaring. Yes, instead of getting caught during a search operation. So these were the key highlights of the budget 2022 with respect to direct taxes. Please stay tuned for further such updates, and if you have any queries, any clarifications you need, please post it in the comments. I will definitely get back to you. Thank you.